Good morning, my dear students. So, today we are starting our next chapter, that is chapter number 2, Microorganism, Friend and Foe. In our last classes, we have completed chapter number 1, Crop Production and Management. If you are having any of the doubt regarding the chapter, just watch the videos and clear your doubt. So, let's start chapter number 2, Friend and Foe. In this chapter, we are going to learn about microorganisms, their habitat, their classification, and about their uses and harms. So, let's start now. First thing that you should know about the chapter, that is what is microorganism. What is the meaning of microorganism? So, for this, divide microorganism into two parts. What we are doing, we are dividing microorganism into two parts. Micro means very small, and organisms are the creatures that survive on the earth. What is the meaning of micro? The meaning of micro is very small. Fine. An organism means the creatures that live on the earth. So, what will be the definition? The definition will be the living organism that are very small in that way that we cannot see them with naked eyes. So, what are microorganisms? Microorganisms are the living organisms which cannot be seen with the naked eyes, and they can only be observed through a microscope. That's why they are called microorganisms. Fine. Definition clear? The organisms that are very small and cannot be seen by our naked eyes are called microorganisms. We need a microscope to see them. Fine. Now, microorganism may be unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular means the organism having only one cell, and multicellular means the organism that have more than one cell. Humans are multicellular and amoeba and paramecium are unicellular. Fine. The first scientist to describe microorganisms was a Dutch scientist, Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Remember its name. In MCQs, many times the question is asked about the scientist. Fine, so learn the name also. Who has first described the microorganism? Who has described? Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Fine. Now, the science which deals with the study of microorganism is called microbiology. What it is called? The science that deals with microorganism is called microbiology, and the scientist who studies microorganism is called microbiologist. Learn these terms also. Now, where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms are present everywhere. Microorganisms are present everywhere, whether it is our own body, air, water, soil, every place, everywhere there are microorganisms. We cannot imagine our life without microorganisms. They are found in air, soil, water bodies like seas, lakes, and ponds. They are also found in dead and decaying organisms and even inside our bodies. So, what we can say, we cannot say that a place is free from microorganisms. Maybe the percentage of microorganisms can be less or more, but there should always be microorganisms in the environment. The microorganisms survive in extreme environmental conditions by forming a hard outer covering that is called cyst. What is the hard outer covering called? The hard outer covering is called cyst. Now this is the activity to show the presence of microorganism in soil and water. Okay, you all know that soil contains a lot of microorganisms. That's why अगर कभी भी हमारे हाथ से कुछ edible items skip होके फ्लोर पे गिर जाते हैं, can you eat it without washing? Obviously no. Why? Because the floor contains so much microorganisms and it is harmful for us to eat the things from soil or from the floor. Now the classification of microorganisms. What we are going to study? We are going to study about the classification of microorganism. The microorganism can be classified into 5 parts. Microorganism can be classified into 5 parts, that are: first is bacteria, then virus, algae, fungi and protozoa. What are the 5 parts? The 5 parts are bacteria, algae, virus, fungi and protozoa. The first one is bacteria. Bacteria are very small and the simplest living organism. Very small and simplest living organism. Their size varies from 0.2 to 100 microns, means very small, and we have studied earlier also that they cannot be seen with naked eyes. They are single-celled organisms found almost everywhere. On the basis of their shapes, we can classify them into 4 parts. How many parts we can classify? We can classify them into 4 parts. What are the parts? The parts are: first is bacilli, that are rod shaped; second, cocky, spherical shape; then vibrio, comma shaped; and spiralia, spiral shaped. So what are the 4? First is bacilli, cocky, vibrio and spiralia, and these are their shapes. They can be found in rod, spherical, comma or spiral shape. The bacteria which need oxygen for growth are called aerobic bacteria. What are they called? Aerobic bacteria. And the bacteria which do not need oxygen are called anaerobic bacteria. There are 2 types of bacteria, aerobic and anaerobic. Which need oxygen are aerobic and which doesn't need oxygen are called anaerobic bacteria. They can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. I think the meaning of autotrophic and heterotrophic is clear to all. Yes or no? The organisms that prepare their own food are called autotrophs, and on the other hand, who depend on other organisms for their food are called heterotrophs. Bacteria generally reproduce by binary fission. We will discuss this term in our next chapters. What is binary fission? Now, for now, it is only we have to learn that bacteria reproduce by binary fission. Now, the second is virus. Virus means poisonous liquid. What is the meaning of virus? The meaning of virus is poisonous liquid. These are the smallest microorganisms. What are virus? Virus are the smallest microorganism and they are a link between living and non-living organism. What can we say? We can say that they are a link between living and non-living organism. Virus cannot survive on their own. They need a host body to survive. Means अगर वायरस किसी सरफेस पे है तो विद इन फ्यू डेज और फ्यू आवर्स वो क्या हो जाएगा, ख़त्म हो जाएगा. और वो अपने सर्वाइवल के लिए किस पे डिपेंड करता है? इट डिपेंड्स ऑन अ होस्ट बॉडी. Here see the virus is spread and invade the other cells. The virus contain a small nucleus material wrapped in a protein coat. They cannot grow and reproduce on their own. वो अपने आप डेवलपमेंट नहीं कर सकते हैं. What they need? They need a host body to develop. And these are the examples. What are the examples? The example are vaccinia virus, influenza virus, HIV virus and polio virus. And nowadays you are also seeing about nowadays you are listening, and the more emphasis is to be paid on coronavirus. You all know that corona needs a host to develop, and if it remains on a surface for few hours, then it will die. मतलब अगर वो किसी सरफेस पे रहेगा तो वो ख़त्म हो जाएगा, लेकिन अगर उसको किसी हॉस्ट बॉडी मिल जाती है, उसको कोई हॉस्ट बॉडी मिलती है, तब वो क्या कर जाता है, स्प्रेड हो जाता है. दैट्स वाई इट इज़ सेड टू मेंटेन द हाइजीन so that it can not be spread, जिससे कि वो स्प्रेड नहीं हो. If you wash your hands regularly and maintain hygiene, cover your mouth and nose, then there are less chances for coronavirus to spread. So same thing we are studying here, that virus needs a host to spread. Clear? Now what is the third point? The third point is algae. Algae is a group of simple plants. Algae in Latin means seaweeds. What are they called? They are called seaweeds. In our previous chapter we have studied about weeds. What we have studied? We have studied about the weeds. Weeds are the unwanted plants that grow along with the main crop. जो main crop के साथ में grow करते हैं वो हमारे क्या कहलाते हैं? Weeds. So algae are a type of seaweeds. ये mostly कहाँ पे develop होते हैं? Aquatic areas में, just like rivers, ponds, वहाँ पे ये develop होते हैं. And they are unicellular and multicellular both. Some are unicellular and some are multicellular. They have no stem, roots and leaves like other plants, but they have chlorophyll. They have chlorophyll. It means that they can make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. You all have seen algae. अगर कहीं पे भी जो water है वो स्टोर हो रहा है, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल पॉन्ड्स हैं, रिवर्स हैं, या अगर हमारे घर के टैंक में भी वाटर टैंक जो है उसकी प्रॉपर क्लीनिंग नहीं होती है, दैन व्हाट विल हैपन, यू कैन सी अ ग्रीनिश लेयर अराउंड द वॉल्स ऑफ द टैंक. दैट इज़ द algae. What it is? It is algae. And what are the examples? The examples are Chlamydomonas, seaweed, Spirogyra and volvox. These are the examples. You all have to learn their names and example. Now move to the fourth one. What is the fourth? The fourth is fungi. Fungi is a group of diverse organisms that lack chlorophyll. Means that they cannot do the process of photosynthesis. They generally grow in dark, warm and moist conditions. Most fungi are saprophytes. That means they feed on dead things, while some are parasites. They live on other living organisms. They can be unicellular or multicellular. What are their examples? Their examples are yeast, mold, mushroom and penicillium. The most common fungi is bread mold. If you keep bread in a moist place for 3 to 4 days, then you can see grayish black patches on the bread. Or you can take chapati also. What you will see? You will see grayish black patches on the surface of bread or chapati. What was it? It is bread mold. What it is? It is bread mold. The grayish black patches are found formed by the bread mold. क्लियर, यू ऑल हैव सीन इट. और अगर किसी ने नहीं देखा है तो आज ही घर पे ये एक्टिविटी सभी को करनी है. वॉट एक्टिविटी? यू हैव टू टेक अ ब्रेड और अ चपाती, add some moisture to it, then keep it covered in a dry place. Fine, keep it covered. I'm again saying keep it covered. After 3 or 4 days you will see grayish black color patches on the surface of bread and chapati. What is it? It is bread mold. Clear? Now the next one. The next is protozoa. Protozoan means the first animal. What is the meaning? The meaning is first animal. Sometimes the question comes in the MCQs that which microorganism are referred to as the first animal. So what will be the answer? The answer will be protozoans. Protozoa are unicellular microorganisms. They are included in a separate kingdom that is called Protista. What is the separate kingdom called? The separate kingdom is called Protista. They are found in ponds, lakes, rivers, sea and damp soil. Protozoa are either saprophytic or parasitic. Their example is amoeba, paramecium, euglena and trypsona. Here are the examples. Now an exception is there, that is euglena. What is the exception? The exception is euglena. It contains chlorophyll and can prepare its own food. What is the color of euglena? The euglena is of green color. It has chlorophyll and it can prepare its own food. Now what we have studied till now? We have studied what the microorganism, what are the microorganism, their types and about their habitat and basic characteristics of bacteria, fungi, algae, protozoa and virus. You have to learn the basic characteristics and examples of the different types of microorganisms. Now the microorganism can be classified into two parts, that are useful and harmful. Microorganisms are of two types. What are they? They can be useful for us or harmful for us, and it is clearly mentioned in our chapter also that we have to read about the benefits and the harms of microorganism. So what we have to study now? We have to study the useful microorganism. Now for a better clarification, I am showing you a video to summarize the topic that we have covered till yet. So now I am showing you a video to summarize what we have learned till now. That includes the microorganisms, their classification and habitat. Microorganisms, you all know, living creatures that are found on the earth. They cannot be seen by naked eyes. They are called microorganisms or microbes. They can only be seen with the help of a microscope. What is the use of microscope? The microscope is used to see the microbes. Now you can do this activity at home. What is the activity? You have to observe the microorganism in soil or in pond water. You can clearly see that there are many microorganisms. Now in rainy season you can see grayish white patches on the moist bread. What is it? It is bread mold. What it is? It is bread mold. Thin long streaks are there. What it is called? It is called bread mold. You have to do this activity at your home also. Now the classification of microorganism. The microorganism can basically classified into four parts, that are bacteria, fungi, protozoa and algae. And these are the examples given also: bacteria, cocci, sparklers, protozoa, amoeba and paramecium. The fifth group, that is virus. Virus is the borderline of living and non-living things. Now virus is a non-living things. They do not have cytoplasm or do not have cell organelles, while a living thing has a cytoplasm and cell organelles. What happens when a virus finds a host? जब भी virus को एक host मिल जाता है, then it uses host cell energy and nutrients for the growth, and see how it is developed. Now it becomes a living thing. The disease that are spread by the virus are cold, influenza, cough and polio, and also chickenpox is caused by viruses. The microorganisms can be classified into two parts on the basis of their cells, that are unicellular and multicellular. Bacteria, algae and protozoa are unicellular, and multicellular are algae and fungi. Now, habitat of microorganism, or where do microorganisms live? Microorganisms live in air, water, soil, human body and in animal and plants. It means it is found in each and every part of the earth. It can be found in ice cold climate, hot spring, desert, marshy land and seas. We cannot imagine a single place where the viruses or the microorganisms are not present. See how they move into our body. Amoeba live freely, while the fungi and the bacteria make their colonies. Harmful microorganisms are there and helpful microorganisms. We can classify the microorganism into two parts, that are harmful and helpful microorganisms. So let's move to our NCERT let's move to our prescribed book so that we can move further. So I think it is clear to it is clear to all of you about the microorganisms, their classification and their habitat. Now we will move to the useful microorganisms. There are a lot of uses of microorganisms that we can see in our daily life. The first use in making of food items. We can make curd, paneer, cheese, etc. with the help of microorganisms. The yeast is also an important part of microorganism. They have medicinal use also, that are the vaccines, and they are used for the cleaning up of environment and for nitrogen fixation also. So what are the uses? Let's summarize it. We will discuss it in detail in our next class. First, take a look how they are useful for us. They are useful in making food items, making of commercial products. Commercial products means coffee, tobacco, alcohol, beer, agar, production of lactic acid, citric acid, acetic acid, then production of medicines, increasing soil fertility and cleaning the environment. So in our next class we will discuss about these topics. What we are going to discuss? We will discuss about the uses of microorganisms, and Up to that, you have to revise all the topics that we have covered in this class. Fine? So, enough for today. Have a nice day and bye.